So we are playing the newest Under Night game.
Yeah,
Something.
how is it pronounced? Under night in birth, exe colon late, and in weird brackets, it's CL-R. So I'm guessing that's like
Control. Yeah.
controller, something like that. So I'm not sure on the exact crazy pronunciation, but the game is on PS4 and on Switch. This is the PS4 version, although I don't think there's any differences between the two. And I haven't played any of these games, so
I own a couple of them because I really like 2D art in my fighting games, and no one does them anymore. Like
yeah, it's a shame. I feel like there's a huge difference between a 2D fighter and a 3D fighter. Like 3D fighters like don't move fast enough or something. Like I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just doesn't seem right.
yeah, even like Guilty Gear has gotten rid of it. Like, what was it? Since we've gone to like the PS4, it seems like everyone's just moved away from it. Um, Guilty Gear went. No, it's not Guilty Gear. It's the other one.
BlazBlue.
Yeah, I think BlazBlue still might do it. I'm confusing the series. I think one of them might still do it, but they don't like really release like BlazBlue games anymore.
Yeah.
They release Guilty Gear game. It's
Right.
it's weird, but like they basically it's all 3D models that are cel shaded to look 2D, and a lot of that reason is actually I think that they updated it so I think the last BlazBlue game was 3D to look 2D. I might be wrong, but it 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 doesn't matter. It's not many games do the like just
Yeah.
2D kind of cel artwork,
Right.
and I mean like even Street Fighter went away from it.
Right.
Um, and Street Fighter was the first one I was kind of okay playing that went away with it. Like that was still a 2D fighter.
Yeah, that still felt right.
Yeah. Um, and a lot of those games they still feel like the 2D fighters, but I still prefer this aesthetic. It's not terrible, but I don't think that they've quite nailed what they should yet.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm curious to see more about this Under Night game because I've always seen it. I've always been aware of it, but I've never had a chance to actually like check it out. So the
Yeah.
first game, was Under Night in Birth exe colon late, and that was in 2014 on PS3. I guess there was a PC version too, and then a year later was Under Night in Birth exe dot late st. I don't know what st might stand for, but that seemed to be also on PS4, PS3. It was actually in the arcade, a PC, and then even on Vita. And then here in 2025 years later, now we have the same game just with Control R,
I never got
controller at the end.
I never got like a technical fighting game or any fighting game really on a handheld.
Yeah, it seems weird. Like you can't. Yeah, it's always weird to have a fighter on a handheld. It just doesn't seem right with the screen or something. I don't know. I never enjoyed. I'm not a huge fighting game fan, but I at least like them on handhelds.
I I love fighting games. I'm only good at very very few of them. Um I was slightly decent at Street Fighter 4. That was like one of the few ones that like I could actually make people walk away in shame.
Yeah,
That was like one of the few like actual games that I could just like pick up and like people would be like, "Oh, I'm the best Street Fighter person," and like someone would be like, "Gilman, make him go away," and I'd be like, "Okay." Um,
what is the main gimmick really with Under Night? So like a lot of fighting games, you save up enough power, you could do a super move, or it's like always a 3-on-3 fighter, or you change into an animal after being in human form for a while. Every fighting game's got their own gimmick, a parry system. Do you know what it is here with in-birth late controller?
uh,
I see a bar at the bottom of the screen, but I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, I still need to run through a bunch of the tutorials.
Let me see if I can find. Axis Games, in conjunction with Arc System Works and French Bread.
French Bread is actually a really good fighting game.
Yeah. Highly anticipated next installment of the Underknife In-Birth 2D fighting game saga, now available on PS4 and Switch. This version features a new playable character and updates, which include nearly 1,000 balance changes and new moves. And it was in EVO 2020. There's a collector's edition where you get a art book, soundtrack CD, and a black rubber keychain. Owners of the PlayStation 4 version will have the opportunity to update their game with a new character or go all in with the bundle that includes new characters and more. So apparently it feels like a whole new game with adjustments to the system. The new character is Land Rekia? Land Rekia? I don't know how to say that. In Underknife In-Birth, a mysterious phenomenon known only as the Hollow Knight has enveloped regions of Japan in darkness.
I believe that word is enveloped.
Enveloped.
Well, one of them is a word and one of them is not. Things don't really envelope things.
Enveloped regions of Japan. Shadowy monsters known as the Void feed off the power called the Existence. Most humans don't possess the ability to see or come in contact with the Voids and therefore remain safe. However, are not so lucky as one of the cast's unique characters. Players fight their way through dangers of the Hollow Knight and defeat those who would try to get in their way and like to use the word enveloped. Game features 2D anime fighter controls with a splash of devastating combos. There you go.
Yeah, it seems like there's just like a ton of different fighting styles in it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I thought yesterday I was playing this, and I thought it was kind of funny that while I was playing it, I was just sort of like, looking at the game, and I'm like, this has 21 selectable characters. But for some reason, I don't think I just feel like that's not enough characters in a fighting game anymore. And I'm like, when did we become so spoiled?
Yeah. You look at a game like Smash Brothers Ultimate now, and there's over 70 characters with,
Is it really?
More. Oh, yeah. And then there's even 5-6 more even on the way. So, I mean, the game is going to be pushing 80 by the time it's all said and done. 80 characters and each character has their own stage, with soundtrack. Like, it's insane the amount of content. But yeah, even still, like over 20 characters, that's still a lot. Like, that's still nothing to be ashamed of.
I mean, Street Fighter 2 had when it fucking started, like before the re-releases and everything, fucking 8?
Sure.
And even then we were
even the original Street Fighter had 8, and then Super Street Fighter added 4 more characters on top of that to make it 12. And then even that was like, whoa, holy 12 characters, this is crazy. We thought that was bananas back in the early 90s, and now it's like, only 20? What? Get out of here.
Yep.
You feel, and then you feel cheated, and it's like, well, but there's DLC characters, and you got to pay $5 for them or whatever, but try to nickel and dime you.
And you buy all of the Smash characters, don't you?
Yeah, I have not only all the Smash characters, but I get all the DLC. I don't buy the Mii Fighter costumes because I never play as the Mii Fighters, although I think they're super cool. You can dress up as like Mega Man and a bunch of Assassin's Creed is in there now. Like, it's so much, but yeah, I do. I already bought the next Fighter Pass where you get 6 characters. I bought the previous Fighter Pass. I bought them all on Wii U and even 3DS, and on top of that, I buy the stupid amiibo still. So it's like Smash Brothers takes.
I gave all of my amiibos to a nephew of mine.
Yeah, I had to buy an additional plastic bin to put all my stupid amiibos in.
It was my nephew had 2 amiibos, and basically worshipped them, and like, you know, it was like the highlight of his day when he would come home from school to play with them. And like he came to visit or something, and like saw that I had, or I forget what it was, but he like found out that I had like every amiibo at the time,
Yeah.
and I was just, and he would like lost his mind, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I just literally just like sent him all of my amiibos. And it's like, I guess like one of his big things every day is now like, I don't know if it's still true because this was whenever amiibos came out.
Yeah, a
Like,
few years ago, more than a few years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this was the Wii U, so it was quite some time
Yep.
ago.
Yep.
But like he used to like sit and like stare at the amiibos and like which, because he could only take one to school with him, and he would just sit there and stare at him and be like, well, which one am I taking to school today? It's, it was just like a little cute story kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I get this, stupid high, you know,
Yeah,
man,
finding a rare one or
just like
something.
yeah, just like, oh, here, it just brings. They're totally dumb. It's super dumb, and they're like way overpriced now because they're like almost $20 for a stupid amiibo. But I just get
Really?
it. It's nine.
Dude, they
It's
were like
17.
13. They were 13 bucks, and I was like,
Yeah,
that's too
they were
much.
12. They were exactly. They were 12.99, and now Nintendo's like, you know what? We can milk this for an extra $5. Now they're 17.99,
Ugh.
and they just because yeah. So it's like they're way overpriced. But I still like fuck that little like just like your nephew, like that's me, like, oh fuck, I can get the new one, like, and I get so
Well,
excited about this stupid dumb crap that I shouldn't be getting
well, and
excited
the
about.
funny thing is, it was like I'd always be that level of excited about it, and then they would go in that box, and I would never touch them again. Like I'd put them in
Yeah,
Smash, maybe play them in Mario Kart once or twice, but never fucking again.
yeah, I've only scanned it. The most I actually used the amiibos for was when I played Breath of the Wild, because you can scan any amiibo at any time, and just even if it's not a Zelda amiibo, and then just like items and crap fall from the sky that you can pick up. So that's how I got like, I would load up on meat, so I never had to actually go take the time to go hunting. So like every amiibo you scan, you get like one chunk of meat at least, and with other like apples and other fish and crap like that. So you never had to like go hunt for that stuff. It just all fell from the sky. And if you have 40 amiibos, you just stand there for 5 minutes, scan, 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 pick up, pick up, pick up, scan, 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 pick everything up. It takes a little bit of time, but you build up your inventory super quick that way. So that's the most I ever used amiibo. I scanned them in, yeah, Smash Brothers a few times, but never, I never
Yeah,
took it
and
too
like, and then
seriously.
you're just done after a while in Smash Brothers,
Yeah,
because
because it's
you get
kind of
to
a
a point that
pain.
you're like, yeah, cool, it's better than me. I'm fucking done here.
Yeah, it'll kill the shit out of you. And what kind of sucks about it is you got to scan the amiibo. You keep it in the, you play 5 matches with it, whatever, and then you got to rescan it your amiibo again to like save it back to the amiibo. So it's
Yeah.
like you got to kind of scan it twice. It kind of takes some time, some effort. So,
So while
but
we're bitching about Nintendo, I've been playing. I got a VR headset, and one of the things that I fucking noticed that I'm annoyed as hell about is, what fad Nintendo started that they started thinking was okay, letting avatars and shit without like legs,
oh right, yeah.
basically
There's always
making
like
people
missing
like,
body parts.
yeah, like Rayman's running around everywhere,
Yes,
and it's
yes.
like there are so many fucking avatars in VR that it's just like, you're Rayman, you have
Or
hands and you have
you
feet, but nothing
yeah,
connecting it.
yes, you just have it. Yeah, you just have hands that hold the gun that you're using, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, wow. And the moment I see that, I almost like, I know it's like super dismissive, but every time I see that, I'm like, I don't want to play this game in VR because it instantly takes me out of the game. And like the really cool stuff in VR is like when you look down and you can see the entire body and like you actually kind of move around with it.
Right, I'm sure they do that just because it's going to take up some screen space. You're not
I'm
going to be able
sure
to
I'm
see.
sure it's like
There's
it
yeah,
frees up some processing power and like all this other reasons, but it's like it's this aesthetic that that Nintendo started, and it's like, guys, fuck you.
kind of start well Rayman, and then the other game that kind of had weird floaty limbs was a Super Nintendo game called Plock. And Plock, you would actually throw your limbs. So like You would throw like your right arm at him, and if you hit a guy, you kind of like lose your arm for a
Yeah, but
while.
Mii's popularized it.
But oh, big time, big time.
And when I can blame Nintendo for something terrible happening, I will.
Sure, just like the stupid overpriced amiibo craze.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Under Night, sir?
I mean, I'm not playing it, but it seems like a game that I would want to check out. You know, like I said before, it's always been there. Like I've always just been aware of it, but I've never had a chance to actually play it myself. But yeah, to your point, I do like the art style. I think it is kind of a dying breed. I know there's like Skullgirls. Maybe that's another like somewhat recent. I think there was like a sequel, Encore. Was
That was like more of an expansion.
more of an sure, but that was still like
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
sort of recent, but still hand drawn. But yeah, a lot of the fighters 3D. I don't know. I guess in my 2D fighters, you know, one on one, I kind of prefer sprite based 2D art, hand drawn style, I guess. But who am I? I'm not a fighting game expert by any means. But I don't know. This game doesn't seem so bad. What do you
No,
think?
no, I like these games. I like fighting games in general, but um, this is unfortunately I would need to spend more time with this to, aside from saying, yeah, it's fun to be like start learning the depth of
Yeah,
people and
we're just kind
like
of button mashing. Now, yeah, I want to know what
there's
what
like
this.
one kind of spammy character that I'm okay with, and I didn't choose her this time because uh she she's relatively easy, and this girl also has big boobs.
Always a plus
Yeah.
when you're playing a 2D fighter. So yeah, this has been Under Night on PS4. You can follow us at mygamer.com. You can follow me on Twitter at ZackGaz, ZACKGAZ. You can follow us on Twitter at MyGamerNews. And until next time, thank you for watching and game on.